At 4:03 a.m., the alarm goes off. Not for a firefighter. Not for a surgeon. For a guy named Ravi who sells insurance from a tiny rented apartment and films day in the life videos before sunrise. The camera turns on before the lights do. Cold shower. Black coffee. Journal. Gym. Laptop open by 5:12. By 8 a.m., the internet has already decided what kind of man he is. Disciplined. Focused. At least at first. Your bedroom became a trading floor. Your lunch break became content opportunity. Suddenly there was always someone awake. Always someone earning. Always someone posting screenshots of revenue at 4:47 in the morning like they'd discovered fire. And once people saw that, sleep itself started looking suspicious. That's the hidden psychology behind the 4 a.m. culture. The internet loves systems that sound measurable. Especially during economic uncertainty. And this matters because right now, millions of younger workers feel trapped in an economy that no longer behaves the way they were promised. Wages climbed slowly. Housing exploded upward. Attention became currency. And stable careers started dissolving into side hustles stitched together by apps. So people reached for something they could still control. Time. If your salary won't double, maybe your discipline can. If the economy feels chaotic, maybe your calendar can become military grade. That's where the mythology begins. You wake at 4. You gain an extra 3 hours. 3 hours a day becomes 1,000 hours a year. And 1,000 hours sounds life-changing when presented over cinematic piano music. The math feels undeniable. Until you examine what those hours are actually doing. Because most people who attempt their 4 a.m. transformation don't suddenly become hedge fund managers or founders. They become exhausted. Quietly exhausted. There's an irony buried inside this entire culture. The people selling extreme productivity online often make money from the performance of productivity itself. Not necessarily from the thing they claim woke them up at 4 a.m. Think about it. A man records himself reading philosophy before sunrise. Uploads the clip. Millions watch it while lying in bed feeling inadequate. The video earns ad revenue while he sleeps the next afternoon. That's not discipline. That's media. And media changes incentives. The more unrealistic the routine becomes, the more attention it attracts. Nobody clicks on. I woke up at 7:30 and maintained emotionally sustainable habits. But 4 a.m. changed my life. That spreads globally in hours. Because suffering photographs beautifully when paired with ambient music and a grayscale filter. Still, there's a reason this trend refuses to die. Some people genuinely do change their lives waking up early. Not because dawn contains magical economic properties. But because systems reduce friction. A quiet morning can create focus. Consistency compounds. Small routines stabilize chaotic lives. That part is real. The dangerous part is what gets edited out. The naps. The burnout. The failed businesses. The caffeine dependence disguised as ambition. And most importantly, the survivorship bias. For every entrepreneur posting a sunrise routine from a penthouse balcony, there are thousands of people waking at 4 a.m. to stock grocery shelves, drive buses, unload trucks, clean office buildings. They wake early too. But nobody calls that optimization. Because society tends to romanticize exhaustion only when wealth follows it. That's the uncomfortable math underneath the whole thing. The modern economy increasingly rewards visibility over labor. The appearance of discipline can become more profitable than discipline itself. And once that happens, every habit turns into branding. Morning routines become status symbols. Sleep becomes negotiable. Rest starts sounding lazy. Which is historically bizarre. Because for centuries, being able to sleep longer was considered a luxury. Now wealthy people brag about sleeping less like they are manually fighting evolution. Even biology became competitive. And maybe that's the bigger story here. The rise of 4 a.m. culture says less about mornings and more about anxiety. Economic anxiety. Status anxiety. The fear that somewhere, someone younger is already outworking you while you're unconscious. That fear powers entire industries now. Supplements. An economy built around self-optimization eventually teaches people that every unproductive moment is a moral failure. And that's a profitable belief. Because once people internalize it, they never stop consuming solutions. Wake earlier. Track more. Optimize harder. Repeat. But eventually a strange question appears. If everyone wakes up at 4 a.m., who exactly gains the advantage? Because advantages only work when they are rare. And maybe that's the final irony. The real winners of the productivity gold rush may not be the people waking up earlier. It may be the people convincing millions of exhausted strangers that the secret to surviving modern economics is simply setting an alarm clock in the dark.